Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching from, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the iRacing World Challenge presents Legends World Challenge for Season 2, Round 3 out here at Oulton Park. I'm your commentator here this afternoon, Hamish Munro, bringing you all the action through sight and sound on the Infinity Broadcasting channel here over on YouTube. If you're here for the first time, or you've been here for a while and you're thinking about you want to stick around, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon as well so you're notified whenever we go racing here with Legends World Challenge or other iRacing World Challenge races in the future. There are talks in the background for an expansion next season into another series, possibly into something that contains 2 letters and a number in the car type title for next season. So all will be revealed very, very soon. But we have to get into the action here tonight for the Legends World Challenge for Oulton Park. Qualifying is currently underway. Some drivers out there wanting to get their lap times in as quickly as possible around this place. Remembering, we were here last season as of round 3. So this is, Oulton Park's becoming the mainstay now for round 3 of the championship. We'll see if it brings up any memories or any problems for some drivers that they may have encountered only a season ago. But next week, the next round at Zolder is the halfway point of this season. Remembering, this season's only 7 rounds long. Then we go back to our regular format for next season. Oulton Park, though, should be a great little challenge for these drivers here tonight. Jack Anderson, of course, the defending champion in the number 1 machine. He's looking to get a good qualifying under his belt with only 50 seconds to go in qualifying before we get into the first heat of the afternoon here at Oulton Park. It is known for this sort of club level racing, for Legends racing around here, as well as other car types like BTCC, as well as Clio Cup and other little short, sharp pieces of action around this track. But we have 6 drivers in the field tonight. We haven't had a field this small since Bathurst last season. So hopefully next week we can get the numbers back up, as Anderson has now gone to provisional pole position in the end of qualifying. We'll see if the numbers go back up for next week. Obviously this went head-to-head with the Logitech G Pro Series Enduro race on Friday night. Hopefully we can get some more drivers back again for next week out at Zolder, and this week was just their drop round for the season. Qualifying is done and dusted, though, so we're going to get ready to go racing for race number 1 here tonight. The starting grid for tonight's race will be as follows. It'll be Jack Anderson ahead of James Boardman on the front row of the grid, with Chase Tippett and Jordan Ferguson on the second, and then Joshua Benow and Ash DeVries will make up the grid for a short, sharp run around Oulton Park. The SRW race had some phenomenal racing in it Friday night before this one happened. So we'll see if it's actually going to translate into this race here this afternoon. Anderson, of course, defending champion. Ferguson, a former winner at this track. Both those drivers, the only ever drivers to win at this track when we were here last season. So we'll see if they can follow it up with another strong performance here this afternoon. Borsman, he's been strong in these cars previously. DeVries, I mean, he took the most wins last season. An absolute weapon. Chase Tippett, Joshua Benow, those guys, they were looking strong in the early piece of this season so far. So hopefully they can continue their run of strong performances here tonight. What it does mean, though, is all the drivers are guaranteed a top 6. They're all guaranteed a good chunk of points leading into the rest of the season. And if they have a round where they finish below P6 or even below P10, then at least this one would not need to be used as a drop round if they have rocked up here in the UK this afternoon for round number 3. It just shows that not everyone in the field were able to get their visas accepted when they were wanting to come over to the UK for this race here this afternoon at Oulton Park. But what a race it is going to be. We're just waiting for Joshua Benow to get on field. He's on the grid. So we wait for the lights to go up. We wait to go racing for the first time here this afternoon out at Oulton Park, as Benau's having a little bit of a blinking issue in the background. But Anderson on pole, Boardman alongside him. We wait for the revs to rise and for these guys to get ready to go racing. Let's go for Oulton Park. Let's get the flag up. Let's get the lights going. Gridding is up for race 1 here tonight of round 3. Benau still blinking in the background. Who's going to get the jump down towards turn 1? It was a great start there for the majority of the field, but De Vries has absolutely bogged it up off the start line. He has been left in no man's land at the back of the field as everyone rockets round turn 1 once again, and Bosman's already gone round in the background. So has Tippett onto the grass. So De Vries' bog start has not worked out so poorly for him. He's already gained 2 spots off the start of this race as Anderson leads through 2. Ferguson's in behind him. Benau is still blinking in behind Ferguson at the moment. Tippett and Boardman just trying to get back into the piece right now as they come up towards the hairpin. The field, they're already spreading out at this point after those initial moments there at turn 1 for Tippett and Boardman. Ironically, only 2 cars on the grid with a 7 in their number. Maybe that's an omen. Maybe there's something in that. Who knows? But the number 1 currently situates and sits in P1 on the road. Benau has now gotten past Ferguson through the first chicane. He now sits in P2 on the road in the number 6 machine. He's still blinking very, very poorly here in towards the second chicane. Ferguson, we know he's strong at this track. He calls them his ends. But if he doesn't have a strong performance tonight, as it looks like he's not going to have, as he's now spun it out and ended up on the grass, needs to be cautious of the rejoin, of course. Tippett comes past. Borsman's going to come past. So Ferguson's now going to end up at the back end of the field as Anderson still leads to Benau. Is this possibly how they finish this race? Everyone started to spread out. They're all in their own little in their own little sections of this circuit now. Is this possibly how it ends out in this race? But Ferguson, you got to feel heartbroken for him. He tasted success last season at this track, and right now it's not looking like a successful venture back home to Oulton Park. He previously would come here year upon year when he lived in Manchester, and now it is a homecoming to forget at the moment for Ferguson. But Anderson leads with Benau in behind. De Vries is still running in P3. Tippett, Boardman and Ferguson in behind him. So field has spread out, unfortunately, within 2.5 minutes of this race. We've got 7 minutes 20 seconds left of race number 1, and it looks like it's Anderson's to win if he can hold it together here. Of course, he started the car on pole. He was dominant in the early piece last season, won multiple races, didn't win the most races last season. That, of course, went to De Vries, not too far behind him, who won 3 races across the 9 rounds that we ran. Anderson only managed to win 2, so this would be his 3rd win in the Legends here, if he can pull this off. Of course, Jack Oz loves pulling things and jorking it from time to time, but he is not jorking this car at the front of the field. He is smooth, clean and consistent at the front end of the pack, as Benau is still blinking in behind him though. We expect to get about 6 laps out of race number 1, about 8 laps out of race number 2. That's what we got last time we were here last season. Friday night for SOW, we got the same as well. So Anderson crosses the line, lap 3 now, 3 minutes 50 seconds into the piece. But now it's at the fastest lap though, 1 minute 54.075, so going 2/10 faster just about than Anderson that last lap. So he is starting to gain on Anderson now at the front end of the field, but good old Blinky Bill, Josh Benau, I mean, it's going to be a struggle. If they begin to battle and he starts to blink in and out like he is, Anderson's not even going to know where he needs to defend. Benau may not even know where he needs to attack. It could end up in an absolute horror story And De Vries could sneak on through into the lead of this race and take the win here in race number 1. We've got a massive season ahead, of course. We have Zolder next week, Hockenheim Short B Circuit as well the week after. So much phenomenal action to come on our little European triad of races that we have coming up this season. We then have Okayama and Oulton Park to round out the season early in September. So I'm excited for the next 4 rounds to come. The midpoint of the season, Zolder, Hockenheim, Okayama, Oulton Park, the end of the season. If you want to sign up, you want to get involved in the championship, link to the Discord is in the description. Come into the Discord, sign up, and come racing with us on Friday nights in the iRacing World Challenge. One thing though, one little tidbit of news for you. The broadcast will be moving as of next season. It'll be moving to happen on Monday evenings prior to our new championship being run afterwards, and the Legends will become a full support category for the new series that will be on offer next season. And as a support category, it will run similar or the same tracks that the other series is on. Anderson is pushing it so hard right now at the front end of the field. He's just trying to build that gap over Banau. He ran it wide at turn 1. He did well to keep it in amongst itself. Boardman and Tippett now starting to get into a battle here for P4 on the road. So they come through turn 1. We are past the halfway point now of race number 1. And Borsman's starting to put the pressure on Tippett ahead of him. Former V8 vet, split 2 race winner, won it at Bathurst in season 12. He'll be hoping to see similar success here in the Legends World Challenge. Just has to try and put a full season together under his belt. And he should get some positive opportunities out on this track. Banau is really blinking hard at the front end of the field. You have to worry if he blinks out. That's going to be a free position for these guys. But dropping points, dropping spots is not what you want to do in this sort of a race. I mean, you look at Ferguson, he is 7.8 seconds back on these guys now. And these guys have been battling. So he's not even able to really catch up. 3 minutes to go. Lap 4 of this race. There'll be 2 left to run when Anderson crosses the line to start lap number 5. And Borsman right now has settled right into his rhythm. So the way that this race is looking is that these guys are now, they're in their rhythm, they're in their zone. And not much should change out on track, although Banau is starting to chase down Jack Anderson at the front of the field ever so slightly. The only way you can really tell is by looking at the timing tower. You can't really see him on track doing that as he's blinking that much. Need to rename him to Josh Eyelids at this point. He is he's blinking that much out on track. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left, so not long to go in this race. 2 laps to be run of Oulton Park before Jack Anderson takes his first win of the season and his 3rd win here in the Legends World Challenge. Setting himself up nicely for race number 2 if he can put all the puzzle pieces together and figure out what needs to be done to get back up to the top step at the end of race 2 to hopefully take a double win for himself here tonight. No better opportunity than when there's only 6 cars out on track, of course. And he is trying to do whatever he can to get that done here at Oulton Park. So they come up over the hill for the fast run down to the 2nd chicane. Tough little area, this track. We saw some controversy and chaos here last season between a couple of drivers on the entry into the 2nd chicane. They have managed to keep it nice and clean here tonight, though. We love to see that. Nice bit of clean racing. Just a shame not to have gotten a full grid on Friday night to have seen what it would have been with 15 odd cars out on this beautiful Oulton Park circuit. As we look ahead to the final lap of this race, Anderson has got it in hand. It's a foregone conclusion for him to get this win at this point. He has started to gap Benow once again by another 4/10 this last lap. So he's really found another gear. He's really found a bit more pace in these cars. He's managed to push ahead. Jack was saying, heard there was a customs issue going to the UK for a couple of times. Yeah, I said there was a couple of visa issues I heard. So possibly both, possibly a couple of visa issues for some drivers, even possibly the customs issues, as you said. Illegally bringing some items into the UK for one of them, I heard as well, which was why they were turned away at the gate of Manchester Airport. So hopefully it does mean that they can get into Zolder next week in Belgium and into Hockenheim for Germany. I know that, I'm sure they're a little bit more relaxed with their customs issues. I'm sure that is fine. But notably, all the drivers who have previously either been to the UK or Europe or have got easy access to it are out on the field here tonight. As they come through the first chicane once again. It is final lap. White flag has been flown by Barney. And this is the final time for race number 1 that Anderson has to lead to Josh Benow in behind him. It appears, though, that Josh, he's also got some visa issues too. Apparently his visa only allowed him to have a park connection to the track. It wouldn't give him full entry in. He had to come in with the base version. No VIP for him that allowed him to actually contain a constant connection out on track. The second last quarter now for Anderson. It's been a dominant performance in this one. Uneventful aside from turn 1 for the majority of the field, as Ferguson is still struggling at the back end of the piece. He's lost all of his luck at Oulton Park, but a driver who hasn't is Jack Anderson, who becomes a 2-time winner at Oulton Park. Wins his 3rd race of the Legends World Challenge in 2 seasons. And takes a win here ahead of Josh Benow. Ash de Vries, a bit further back, is going to come home in P3. Chase Tippett will then come home in P4 ahead of James Boardman. And Jordan Ferguson is unfortunately about half a track back off of the rest of the field in his former ends. Now, they're no longer his ends. He has lost the right. And he is absolutely washed. He is pure washed. There is no other word for it. He is washed. And he's just brought it straight into the lane. He knows it's over. But Anderson is the winner for race number 1. And he did it in incredible fashion out on track. Doing some burnouts for us. Let's get a nice little chopper cam, if we can, of the burnouts. No, it's going to cut us off. That's very, very nice. Very, very nice of them. We are supposed to have a warm-up session, but with only 6 cars, we're going to skip ahead to race number 2, I think. Try and get to the meat and potatoes of this Sunday night roast we have going for the Legends World Challenge. Like I was saying, at least he didn't blow the engine this race. This is very true. At least he did not do that. Starting grid, though, for race number 2 here tonight, it will be a reverse grid of race number 1. So it'll be Ferguson on pole, to Boardman, to Tippett, to De Vries, to Benow, to Anderson at the back end of the field. So we just await the rest of the field to join us here on the grid. And we will go racing for 15 minutes in this feature race here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Not long to go now until the end of the piece and until we see who will claim the round victory. Currently being led by Jack Anderson thanks to his race 1 win. If he can put it all together and finish within 1 position of Josh Benow, finish within 2 positions of Jack Anderson, Ash de Vries, without them winning, he should easily win this round, of course. But anything can happen, especially with a wild Jordan Ferguson in pole position. Anything could happen with him up there. We know he's a little bit erratic as of late. He has struggled to keep this thing on the tarmac. But if we have a blow up like we did at turn 1 last race, or if De Vries were to bog down on the start again, it could be trouble for Anderson, who's right in the direct line of fire in behind De Vries. So if he parks it on the line and Anderson cannot avoid well, it could be instantaneous death for the back end of the field and the race 1 winner. But we await for lights to go up. We await to go racing for race number 2. Ferguson and Boardman on the front row of the grid. We'll see who gets the jump down towards turn number 1 and who is going to have the run around this beautiful Oulton Park Circuit. Hopefully the field doesn't spread too much in this one and we get some good wheel-to-wheel battling out there. Lights are up. Let's go racing for race number 2. We are go at Oulton Park once again, and the whole field gets away very, very nicely there. De Vries, though, nearly gets caught up with Chase Tippett, who was just trying to make it onto an inside line, but Borsman has absolutely rocketed off the start line already, and he is up to P1 on the road as Ferguson drops down to the back of the field after running it wide at turn 1. Through turn 2 they come now. De Vries is already up into P2. Ahead of Tippett, but now Ferguson and then Anderson. But it is Borsman who leads the way at the moment, who had a fantastic start. And this is the kind of racing we expected in race 1. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel action. Everyone's still condensed. I think that moment at turn 1 last race, really, that's what spread the field out, unfortunately. But thanks to the factor of everyone getting a nice, good start off the line, they managed to stay condensed except for Borsman at the front end of field. And they managed to keep themselves in check here for lap 1. Of course, De Vries, he's had a great start. He started back right in behind Borsman. Borsman obviously rocketed off the line. De Vries has done well. He's just followed him through turn 1. Left the other guys on the outside line absolutely packing in beside him. And he snuck his way up into P2 on the road. A fantastic start there from the Era 404 Family Guy machine. At the moment, if he were to finish where he is, he'd actually be winning the round as Anderson goes for a wild ride in the background across the grass. Oh my Lord. That could have ended in absolute agony and tears for Anderson there if he had not have caught the car before hitting the wall. Cross the line now to start lap number 2. This is how they line up. It's Boardman to De Vries, to Tippett to Manau. A bit further back is Anderson and Ferguson. Ferguson really putting in a claim to lose his English citizenship here by not winning this race at the moment. Just a disgusting performance if you ask me. De Vries, though, has now lost P2 to Tippett. He's got Manau all over the back of him. The Blinky Bill still amongst the battles here. These guys have got some good pace on offer at the moment. Asher saying Ando just showing off. It's true. He really is. He missed out on his expression session here this afternoon, so he had to do it mid-race. Just see how close these battles are, though. De Vries having to let Manau go through at the hairpin. Did not want to try and contest the Blinky Bill machine. He needs a new livery on that thing to match the internet connection, if you ask me. And these guys are now starting to catch up to the back end of Boardman. So we could have a nice little fatal four-way battle happening for the lead of this race. As De Vries is still on the back end of it, but Boardman leads them through the chicane. He's done phenomenally well off the start. He rocketed through turn 1, took the lead from Ferguson, who was caught napping as usual on a Sunday afternoon. And now he looks ahead to possibly taking a victory here. Call it untimely, if you will, a victory out at Oulton Park. And a good chunk of points if he can pull this off. And he's under massive pressure from Chase Tippett, who looks to send it up the inside at the final corner. Side by side now, up towards the start-finish line. We're only 4 minutes into this race, folks. We've only just started lap number 3, and the top 4 are separated by absolutely nothing. There's a bee's dick between them at the front end as Tippett takes the lead through turn number 1 to Borsman in behind. De Vries and Manau are still in this, but Borsman's all of a sudden under pressure from Manau and De Vries in behind him to drop off the podium if he's not careful. Tippett, he had a great run through the final corner up towards turn 1. He got the move done. He got the lead of this race. And all of a sudden, Borsman, who had a dominant start in this one, is showing right now that his mid-race pace may not be up to scratch at the moment, as apparently Anderson has died in the background. He's still going. But we have De Vries, who's now gotten past Boardman through the hairpin. He now moves up onto the podium, and in the span of about 4 corners, James Boardman has dropped from P1 on the road all the way back to P4, as Bernal is still blinking like it's nobody's business. Tippett having a strong run with the unknown head on the back of his car. We still have no confirmation who that is. But as they come through up towards the back straight of this Oulton Park Circuit, it is Josh Bernal who's pulling a Chris Angel disappearing act in behind Chase Tippett here. I think he's going for it up the inside, can never be certain. It is amazing what can happen when you can keep the top 4 condensed at the front end of the field. DeVries saying it was too risky to attack Bernal with the blinking. Yeah, exactly right. You can never determine where he is. As soon as he disappears, it's a guessing game of, oh no, is he there? Is he not? Who really knows? You know, it is a real piece of street illusion magic from Josh Bernal. You know, a possible tactic to take advantage of if you know you got a bit of blinking happening. It means you're not under pressure. But you do have to hope that someone will just let you go through and know that you are blinking in behind them as well. Lap 4, halfway point of this race now. We're 6 minutes, 18 seconds into the piece of the 15-minute affair. Remembering, we're going to get around about 8 or 9 laps in this one, as the top 4 have just started to settle into their rhythms now. They know there's a little long way to go. They don't want to get too tangled amongst each other. Otherwise, they may end up needing a tow back to pit lane, and all of a sudden they're out of contention for the lead of this race. Anderson has now managed to get back past Jordan Ferguson, who continues to struggle at this track. Maybe it's the fact that Jordan's been away too long from England. He sucked out all of his good luck at this track last season, and now he just has nothing to give anymore, as Bernal's had to straight line the chicane. That's going to drop him back to P4. Anderson and De Vries now, or De Vries and Boardman, sorry. I'm getting myself tongue-tied and twisted here. De Vries and Boardman now battling it out for P2 on the road. They were side by side at the previous corner. Boardman had to back out of it, as De Vries, I mean, the face that you can see on the front of the car from Peter Griffin probably perfectly describes how he might have been feeling sitting in behind Josh Bernal as he was blinking, and then as he saw Borsman trying to sneak it round the outside of the next corner as well. But I think he might possibly have settled down just a little bit here and maybe feeling, if we can get a good shot of it. No, there we go. Oh, you can't even see the head. Right now, this is Stewie's POV if he was laying on the bonnet of Ash De Vries' car, apparently, as he tries to chase down Chase Tippett at the front of the field. 8 minutes into this race, lap number 5. There's not long to go now, and the field has started to spread after a little bit of minor mistakes from the top 4. As Henderson sets the fastest lap of the race there, a 1:54.262. He is rocketing in P5 right now. At the moment, himself and De Vries will be equal. Will they be equal in points? No, De Vries would still be winning the round. So, at the moment, De Vries is winning the round. It's whether he can get past Tippett and get a win on his cap, his 4th win. If he can put that together and maximise on this racing afternoon here at Oulton Park. I'm just going to say right now, we need confirmation of whose head that is on the back of Chase Tippett's car. I want to know who it is, if it is Chase himself or if it's a bit of man love for somebody else that he's showing. I'm not 100% sure. As Benow has managed to get back up onto the rear of James Boardman. Possibly going to try and send it up the inside of the next corner. Boardman doesn't even know where he is. He just has to guess and hope and pray that he doesn't turn in on him. Slots it up the inside, gets the move done, and now Benow is back on the podium in the number 6 machine. Ahead of James Boardman here, who now slots back into P4. We've got a little under 5, or a little over 5 minutes to go. The top 4 have not allowed each other just to run away just yet. I mean, Tippett is still within firing range from De Vries. Any mistake he makes, De Vries will pounce on it like it's a freshly cracked can. And if De Vries makes a mistake, well, we know the Borsman's always willing to take a chance. It's whether they can survive to that checker flag. That is the name of the game, folks. It is survival. These cars are so... they can be so unpredictable from time to time. One little mistake can cost you. You know, you look back at race 1 at Winton last season. Cost Pedro Joao-Suar one mistake into turn 1 and gave De Vries the lead. And he won the race. Why do you feel attacked? Why do you feel attacked for, Shoz? Why do you feel attacked? I have no idea why you could possibly feel attacked for any reason whatsoever. I can't really see why. I honestly can't. Oh, that's why. That's why Ash is feeling abused in the late gate section of this race here this afternoon. We have what is it? 3.5 minutes left of this race. 2 more laps just about. As Benow is all over the back of De Vries once again. Tippett leads the way, 1.5 seconds. Lap number 7 of this race. De Vries, though, does his personal best on the last lap, a 1:55.305, but we know he has more in the tank. We know he can get more lap time out of this car. He just has to push it a little bit more and more to get up onto the back of Tippett if he can. Benow's going for the move in the background. He's going to get it done. And slots now into P2. De Vries lets him have it. He cannot determine where he is on track. And now he's going to let him run up into the back of Chase Tippett and hope he can create an opening for him to get onto the top of the podium here. Boardman's dropped a bit further back. Now he's about 1.9 seconds off of De Vries. So unless these guys have a moment, I don't know if he's going to be able to get back onto them and put the pressure on. Through the first of the chicanes now they come. Tippett been dominant since he's taken the lead of this race. He has been really leading from the front, and he's running clean, consistent laps. Amazing what a bit of clean air can do for you in terms of giving you somewhat of an advantage just to push it over the rest of the field. Up onto the back straight now. Benow is all over the back of Tippett. De Vries is still lurking in the background, ready to pick up the crumbs if they fall. We have got 2 minutes left of this race. Under 2 minutes now. It's going to be 1 lap left to run when they cross the line here this afternoon for Oulton Park action. Chase Tippett leads this one by 0.3 to 0.4 of a second to Benow in behind. Up towards the line they come now to start lap number 8. Final lap of the race. As Benow's now set the fastest lap of the race, a 1:54.243, barely any quicker than Anderson's previous best. Through turn 1 they come now. Gaps now down to 0.15 of a second. Benow is absolutely flying to the front of the field and onto the back of Chase Tippett's car. They're basically having a cuddle. They're that close through turn 2. Up towards turn 3 now. Battle for the lead is on. It's less than 1/10 of a second. Tippett's trying to cover the inside line from Benow. He's then going to cover the next inside at the hairpin. Gets it through nice and tidy, does Chase Tippett. Benau is all over him, though. If these guys have it coming together, De Vries is going to be there to take it. He's got the dustpan to pick up the crumbs that they drop, if any fall at all. Up towards the second chicane now. Tippett and Benau. They are tail to nose. 0.12 of a second. Second chicane time for them. Only a number of corners left for Chase Tippett to survive and call himself a Legends World Challenge winner. Up the back straight they come now. This is where we saw a lot of the chaos and controversy at this round last season. But they've kept it clean along here all afternoon. Second last corner for Tippett. One corner left to survive and to become a race winner here in Legends World Challenge. Is it going to happen for Tippett? Is he going to be able to get this done? But now, how can he try and get the move done on Tippett? Final corner time. They come round the corner. He's got this in hand, but now is side by side with him up towards the line. There's contact with Tippett. De Vries is going to come on through both past both of them. I'm losing all my words. De Vries has taken the win on the line. But now did the right thing. He waited up for Tippett. Boardman's got P2. Tippett's taken P3, but now in P4 it'll be Anderson home in P5. An absolute chaotic end to this race. De Vries has absolutely Bradbury'd his way to this win. This is how it happened between them. So you can see him here up towards the line. Let's go chopper cam to get a little bit closer. So you see Tippett, he's trying to cover that P1. So what happens between them? They've had that little knock, but now is right on him still. They've come up through what is technically the final corner. Benau's tried to come across, but Tippett's still there. They've both then had a big old wiggle. Tippett's then into the wall. Benau's going to pull it up. Oh, look at that. I mean, Tippett nearly rolled the thing. And then here comes De Vries across the line. P1 on the road by barely anything. Absolute scenes for Ash De Vries here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. He takes one hell of a win in what could only be mentioned as a modern-day Bradbury moment. We'll drag him in for a quick chat. Shoz, where in the hell did that come from?
Oh, they called me Bradbury De Vries, mate. I'll take anything I can get, mate. It was beautiful.
Oh, well, I mean, you managed to get on the podium race 1. You were looking for a double podium in race 2. And then, literally, at the last possible second it could happen, the top 2 end up with one of them in the wall, the other one being sportsmanlike and waiting for them to cross the line. And you just sneak on through like, oh, yeah, I'll have that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mate, you never know where I'll be lurking. It could be anywhere, mate. Outside the window, sitting in P3, anywhere. Anywhere.
I must say, the only other time that I've seen you show up more quickly is when someone cracks a can 3 times in Discord and all of a sudden you join the call.
Yeah, that was a pretty witty comment. Ash, I was waiting to pounce like a freshly cracked can. I like that one very much. Thank you. That was a good one.
Thank you, Shoz. Appreciate it. Well, Zolder next week. Hopefully you can continue this run of form. Are you feeling a little bit confident at that track? It's probably one you haven't raced at in a fair while.
No, I haven't. I actually didn't. I haven't even raced it. Where were we today? At Oulton Park. I haven't actually raced there at all. So tonight, or the other night, was the first night. Was not enjoying the track very much. Some of the boys out there were very quick. So for me to keep it where I did, I was really happy with that. So maybe I'll put a bit of practice into the next one, and looking forward to keep these podiums coming, bro. Let's go. Well,
you are now the the driver with the most wins in Legends World Challenge. You already had it with 3. Jackos then equaled you in race 1 by getting his 3rd. Then you're just like tip of the cap. No, you can go away, sir. This is my record, thank you. And you take your 4th in the second race. So
Bradbury De Vries, the most winningest driver. I like the sound of that.
Oh, mate,
Let's
you've done
go.
well. Congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
win and your round win as well. Look forward to seeing how you go at Zolder next week. Maybe just no practice is the way to go. You
That's it.
get it on
Just
shore dumb luck and
arrive
you
and
see
drive,
what happens.
baby.
Exactly, that's it.
That's it.
Oh, mate, we'll let you get out of here. Best of luck next week.
All
I
right,
look forward
thank
to
you.
seeing how you go.
Appreciate it, mate. You have a good one.
You too, mate.
Thanks. Bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, great to talk there to Ash de Vries, our round winner for this afternoon for round number 3 of Season 2 of the Legends World Challenge. As I mentioned, next week we go racing at Zolder for the next round. It's going to be an absolute wild one as he's put it into the wall off the back of that. But I've been Hamish Munro, your commentator here this afternoon. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, and the bell icon so you're notified whenever we go racing here on Affinity Broadcasting, with more iRacing World Challenge content to come. If you'd like to get involved in the series, be sure to check the description of the stream. You'll see the link to the Discord. Click on that, join the Discord, come and sign up, come and race with us. We've got 4 rounds to go this season. We'll then go racing next season with Season 3 of the Legends World Challenge, as well as a unrevealed new series which incorporates 2 letters and a number in the title of type of car. But until then, I hope you all have a wonderful Sunday evening. If you guys want to catch more commentary action from myself, you can watch me later on this evening on SRW, 7:50 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Championship. But until then, I hope everybody stays safe. I hope you all drive hard. And until next time, bye for now.
Legends World Challenge, burning up the track. Tires squealing, adrenaline ran through my veins, pushing limits, we're never holding back. Oh yeah, full throttle, fast pace, shaking the ground. Racing legends, chasing the ultimate glory. In the world of speed, when champions are found, Legends World Challenge, we're ready to rock. Legends World Challenge, we're ready to rock. Tearing through the curves, leaving them in shock. Revving up the engine.